One of the biggest talking points among many in the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer was the fact that Kong was seemingly wielding an axe against his foe Godzilla, but the axe we see in the trailer isn't just your old run-of-the-mill axe made from metal, with it seemingly having its own powers and the potential to be the MonsterVerse's version of Stormbreaker. But what exactly can this axe do? What's it made of? And can it be used to defeat Godzilla? Well, that's exactly what we're going to discuss here, and I'm going to give you a spoiler to that last question. Yes, it can. So, as we mentioned in the trailer, we can see Kong leaping towards his enemy Godzilla, bearing what appears to be an axe over his head to, well, bash Godzilla with it. But as Kong goes to attack Godzilla, the king of the monsters releases his infamous atomic breath, firing it straight at Kong. Now, many think that the atomic breath is what gives Godzilla a huge advantage over Kong, and there are many out there that think that overall, it's a pretty one-sided fight. But there is seemingly a twist, something that renders Godzilla's advantage potentially useless, and that is the axe, which manages to capture the atomic breath, contain it, and then use the energy against the one who fired it. That would be Godzilla. The axe having the ability to harness the atomic breath is a huge development. With just one move, Kong is taking Godzilla's greatest weapon out of the game, and shows that perhaps for Kong, defense is the best form of attack. As we mentioned in the tail of the tape, overall, Godzilla seems to have the upper hand, or claw, when it comes to this matchup, but Kong is arguably smarter and more adaptable. Therefore, it makes sense that he'll use a tool or a weapon to help win this battle. A powerful axe then is definitely the perfect weapon. In terms of narrative, having Kong yield a weapon perfectly suited for taking out and defending against Godzilla makes sense, and helps prolong the fight between them. Whether the axe is made just before the movie, during it, or is some relic from the Titan War is unclear, but it shows that Kong's resourcefulness will definitely come in handy. How susceptible Godzilla is to his own atomic breath is unclear, but you can imagine an atomically supercharged hit with an axe is going to hurt quite a bit. We could get an idea at just how much of an effect the axe could have on Godzilla though, by delving into what exactly it's made of. It is at this point pretty well known that the axe is not made from metal or stone, but instead, two different titans. The blade itself is in fact made from the dorsal fin of Godzilla himself, or at least some relative of his. We can deduce this by the shape of the blade, the fact it glows blue, and just the overall look, but the material was all but confirmed in one of the many toy leaks. This therefore explains why it can harness and contain the power of the atomic breath, as it's part of the monster that yields it. We can also presume that this dorsal fin has the ability to pierce Godzilla's hide and therefore have the ability to finish him once and for all. It also makes sense that Godzilla's main weakness, his Achilles heel, is himself, and that the one thing that can destroy him is either a piece of himself or a mecha version of himself. Looking at it like the Infinity Stones in the MCU, the thing that can destroy the stones is their own energy signature. We already know that he's not exactly invulnerable, but while missiles and bullets don't have much of an effect, his own atomic breath being reflected at him could cause some serious damage and give Kong the upper hand. As we said though, if the fin is literally from Godzilla or from a relative is unclear. I didn't see any evidence in the trailer, but might have missed something there. But what makes the axe even more interesting is the fact that the handle is seemingly created from a different titan entirely. The trailer hints that the handle is made from bone, but while the blade glimmers blue, the handle shines red. This therefore suggests that the handle is made from a fire breather, such as Rodan for example, which if that is the case could be huge. But we don't know at this point if the handle is definitely from the beloved Rodan, a relative, or neither of the above. But I can imagine that there will be some heavy backlash if it is Rodan. Another option is that the bone belongs to the winged creatures from the trailer, which we are led to believe are called warbats, although they don't seem to be the right fit for the bone. Another theory doing the rounds is that the bone is from a titan known as Hellhawk, but this is all conjecture at this point. What do you think the handle is made from? And most importantly, do you think it'll give Kong some extra powers, say to do with fire? Now that could be interesting. But there are still some questions when it comes down to the axe. Primarily, we see it glowing blue before Godzilla hits it with the atomic breath. Now, we know the dorsal fins go blue when Godzilla charges up the atomic breath, but how exactly can it operate when it's not attached to the body? Maybe the fins store the energy? But unless Godzilla continues to charge it, you would assume that the energy would be somewhat limited. Even so, when removed, it may still have some of that energy, and by Godzilla firing at it, it just recharges it once more. As we said earlier, if the axe has any more powers is unclear as of right now. What is clear though, if Godzilla wants to stay in the fight, he will need to find a way to disarm his opponent. Otherwise, it could be curtains for our favorite overgrown reptile. But what do you think? Do you think that the axe puts Kong on level pegging? Or do you think that Godzilla will be victorious? Let us know down below.